Hi everybody, just thought I'd give you a few ideas if you're coming out to Australia and for railway enthusiasts, and basically we'll just go around the country clockwise from the top, let's say from Cairns. One of the most highly recommended train trips you can take in Australia is called the Savannah, and it runs every Wednesday out of Cairns, and it takes a 4-day trip out to Forsyth, and you buy a tour locally. You can go to a travel agent and tell them like the day before, for argument's sake, I want to go on the 4-day Savannah tour, and then I'll sell it to you. It's not cheap, but it is certainly well worthwhile going on. It's in the $500 to $600 range, I guess, for a trip like that, including your accommodation, and they'll have some meals. And it's the rail car is the 1960s, and it goes up through the mountains, and you go over into more or less into the outback, or the savannah as they call it, and it's quite nice. Depending on your time as to what you can do in Australia, or how much time you have on your vacation. Now, we call vacation holidays, by the way, and if you're getting a hire car up and you want to go to a gas station, you ask for a petrol station. And in your hotel when you arrive, if you want to get the elevator, you call it the lift. So whereabouts the lift if you don't spot it on right away. There are numerous other words here and there that might be a little bit puzzling for you, and I guess you'll get used to it and enjoy your stay. Now I'm going around. Brisbane is quite alright, but it's only fairly ordinary in a sense for the rail enthusiasts. It's only got a 3-foot-6 gauge system, 25,000 volt AC. The Gold Coast light rail line will be opening this month, and you need to take a train from Brisbane down to Nerang and a bus to Pacific Fair Shopping Centre, and diagonally across from there is the tram, as we call it, and the light rail, and that takes you through to Nerang, and you go to Surfers Paradise, which is worthwhile having a look around, and you continue on to Nerang, and you get a bus to Helensvale, then a train to Brisbane. Moving right on to Sydney, there's plenty to see in Sydney. Ferries, trains, buses and so forth. Now I would note down Katoomba. It has the steepest mainline double track railway in the world at 1 in 31 gradients, and at Katoomba itself is the steepest cliff railway in the world. You go to the Three Sisters, which is a feature, and you also go to ask about the Scenic Railway and Skyway. Absolutely well worthwhile going on the top deck of the double-deck trains that go up there. And the Sydney Tramway Museum is open every Sunday, and well worthwhile visiting there. And they've got trams from different parts of Australia, and they've got them from Japan and Germany, and a PCC car from Munich, which is out there as well, and it runs on a former suburban railway into the Royal National Park, so it's well and truly worth your time to have a look at. Now Melbourne, of course, is another merit. It's got one of the largest street tramway systems in the world, and it has the Puffing Billy Steam Railway, and that you take a suburban train to Belgrave, and the Puffing Billy is only over a short couple hundred feet away, a few hundred metres, and it takes you up into the Dandenong Ranges. As I say, it's 2-foot-6 gauge and steam hauled. You can reach that area by bus or by train, so it's either way, it will work fine. Now, various suburban train trips in Melbourne are quite nice, and the tramway system is well worthwhile exploring. And now, ideally also, if you could get to Tasmania and get to Hobart and get up to ask about the West Coast Wilderness Railway. It is 3-foot-6 gauge. It runs from Queenstown to Strahan. It's under repair part of the way from a place called Double Barrel, I understand it, or Rhinadina, and it's been restored over the next few months. I guess it'll be operational. However, it is well worth your time to have a look at, and there are a couple of other rail attractions in Tasmania, including the Don River Railway at Devonport. So if you have the time, and this goes for some of our Australian friends, if you take your car down on the Spirit of Tasmania, which is a ferry, you can get off at Devonport, and there's the Don River Railway, which is one of the attractions of the area. Now, over in Adelaide, they have an interesting tramway system. There's only one line through the city from the western suburbs down to Glenelg, which is operating modern trams. And there's also an O-Bahn, which is the world's longest and fastest urban busway. They do 100 kilometres an hour between stops, and it's well worth your time to have a look up and ride on. And if you're going to Perth, it's also got an interesting system. But over there, it's very, very far, incidentally, from anywhere like the east coast of Australia. It's really a long way away. But there is the Pilbara, which has the world's heaviest and longest iron ore trains, and all powered by 4,000 and 6,000 horsepower General Electric units, and they have typically 240 wagons in each train, and they're moving towards a world first of automated mining trucks or later on automated trains, all guided or controlled by computer and everything from Perth. It hasn't happened yet, but it's underway. The concept is only a matter of a few years off. I went over there in '79 and rode a car called the Sundowner, which used to be on the Chicago, Burlington and Quincy, and which is now still in use as a cafe and not on rails anymore, I understand, but it's a round-in observation lounge car with snack bar. So it's been perhaps altered a little bit, but that car is of historical interest. And they have what is known as the 7 Mile Train Museum near, not that far from Port Hedland. I understand it's a little bit out of the way, but it's got some interesting, very interesting locomotives and cars, including a former Western Pacific F7 and an RS3C there, which was built in Canada. And they have numerous other locomotives, including the first ever Alco 415, which is a demonstrator unit on display. So that is of interest to you. Anyway, I just hope you would enjoy your trip to Australia, and I'm quite happy to correspond with people who wish to know more about Australia. And I hope you enjoy your trip when you do come here, and thank you very much for viewing.